Have you ever noticed how the small things you do after waking up can set the tone for your entire day, even shaping how you feel about yourself and your place in the world? Many seniors overlook this critical window, chalking up morning routines to mere habit or convenience. But the truth is, the early hours can be a minefield of hidden traps. If you're in your 60s, 70s, or beyond, certain seemingly harmless morning behaviors can quietly chip away at your health, energy levels, and even longevity. In this video, we're going to talk about 5 deadly morning mistakes seniors often make that gradually damage the body, accelerate aging, and shorten life expectancy. By the end, you'll have concrete ideas on how to safeguard your well-being before lunch ever rolls around. Stay with me until the final paragraphs, because the last mistake might surprise you by revealing that what many consider a comforting start to the day could actually be the biggest drain on your vitality. Let's start by talking about why mornings are so important. While every hour of the day matters for overall wellness, the first few moments after you wake up can set powerful metabolic, psychological, and hormonal patterns in motion. As you age, your body's stress response and its ability to recover from poor habits become less forgiving. A single misguided choice might seem trivial, but if it repeats daily, you could be inviting chronic inflammation, joint problems, or even a compromised immune system. Some people assume that once you've hit 65 or older, the damage is done or it's too late to change. That kind of thinking overlooks how adaptable the body can be. Even small improvements in your routine, like adjusting how you move first thing in the morning or what you consume for breakfast, can yield remarkable benefits in mood, mobility, and longevity. The first mistake is neglecting to hydrate properly upon waking. It's easy to grab a cup of coffee or tea and call it a morning, especially if you're accustomed to needing caffeine to get started. But remember that your body has gone 6, 8, or possibly more hours without any liquids. Overnight, your system continues performing essential functions such as cellular repair, detoxification, and temperature regulation, all of which rely on water. During this time, you lose fluids through breathing and perspiration. If you jump into the day with caffeinated beverages or simply skip hydration entirely, you risk compounding mild dehydration. This can lead to dizziness, sluggish thinking, joint stiffness, and even a subtle uptick in blood pressure. Dehydration is no joke for seniors, whose kidneys and thirst signals might not be as sharp as they were decades ago. Making matters worse, if you do eventually drink liquids, you might end up chugging them too fast at a later point, which can strain the circulatory system and cause digestive discomfort. By simply sipping 8 to 10 ounces of water or a gentle electrolyte solution soon after you wake, you can help flush out toxins that have built up overnight and give your cells the fluid they need for optimal function. This doesn't mean you have to forgo your morning coffee or tea entirely, but try to drink water first. That single act primes your body for better digestion, steadier blood pressure, and more stable energy levels throughout the day. You may even notice that your first cup of coffee feels more balanced, rather than hitting an already dehydrated system like a jolt. The second deadly mistake is skipping or rushing through any form of movement or stretching first thing in the morning. It's tempting to plop straight into a chair or stay in bed for a little longer, especially if you experience morning aches. But ironically, a gentle routine of stretching or light exercise can do more to ease stiffness and reduce pain than almost anything else. As you age, synovial fluid, the lubricant in your joints, takes a bit longer to circulate, especially after hours of lying still. If you leap into daily tasks without gradually warming up your muscles, you increase the risk of straining them, twisting your back, or aggravating arthritic joints. Over weeks and months, this can culminate in chronic pain episodes or reduced mobility that feels like it arrives out of nowhere. In reality, it's an accumulation of micro-injuries due to repeated misuse of your morning hours. A few minutes of slow, mindful movement, ranging from simple neck rolls and shoulder shrugs to gentle yoga poses, can help maintain flexibility, improve blood flow, and mentally prepare you for the tasks ahead. You don't have to be an athlete. Even a short walk around the house or stepping in place while you brush your teeth can wake up your core and legs. Seniors who devote even 5 minutes to loosening up often report better posture, improved balance, and fewer aches as the day goes on. If you're still watching and finding this valuable, comment morning care below so I know you're with me. And if you haven't already subscribed, be sure to do so and turn on notifications to stay updated on how to live your best life well into your golden years. Let's move to the third deadly morning mistake seniors often make, which might sound innocent at first, but can quickly morph to be the more common mistake seniors often make, which might sound innocent at first, but can quickly morph. That third mistake is relying on sugary or nutrient-poor foods for breakfast, or worse, skipping breakfast altogether. Many older adults fall into a pattern where they're not particularly hungry in the morning, or they grab a quick donut, pastry, or sugary cereal to go with their coffee. Either way, you're setting up a chaotic blood sugar roller coaster that can result in fatigue, irritability, and even compromised immune function. The body's natural cortisol levels are already elevated in the morning to help you transition from sleep to wakefulness, and adding a high-sugar meal on top of that can spike insulin abruptly. This is especially concerning for those with prediabetes or type 2 diabetes, but it can also negatively impact people without a formal diagnosis, leading to chronic inflammation and weight gain over time. Meanwhile, skipping breakfast can be just as detrimental. If your body doesn't receive a balanced intake of protein, healthy fats, and complex carbohydrates, it may interpret the lack of food as a stress signal. This could raise cortisol further, leading to muscle breakdown and a sluggish metabolism. You might think you're saving calories, or you're simply not a morning eater, but over the long haul, the absence of crucial nutrients can sap muscle strength, reduce bone density, and even dull mental clarity. Try focusing on a balanced morning meal that includes protein, like eggs, Greek yogurt, or a plant-based alternative, and a moderate amount of healthy carbs from whole grains or fruits. Even a small but balanced breakfast can stabilize your energy levels and reduce unhealthy cravings later in the day. The fourth morning mistake is ignoring your mental state and diving into negative or stressful inputs the minute you wake up. Many seniors flip on the TV news or scroll through social media, bombarding themselves with unsettling headlines and a barrage of information. While staying informed is important, mornings are a sensitive period for your mind. Emerging from a restful state, your brain is especially malleable, and the emotions you experience at this time can linger far longer than you realize. If the first things you see or hear are news of disasters, family disputes on social media, or discussions of financial troubles, you may find yourself tense, anxious, or emotionally drained before you've even started your day. Chronically elevated stress levels can harm immunity, spike blood pressure, and worsen conditions like arthritis, depression, or heart disease. It also sets the emotional tone for how you interact with family or friends throughout the day. Instead, consider starting with something calming or uplifting. This could be a short meditation, reading a chapter in a book you enjoy, or simply reflecting on what you're grateful for. Even if you're used to the morning news, try delaying it until after you've had time to center yourself and mentally prepare for whatever is happening in the world. By doing so, you protect your mental well-being and reduce the subtle but cumulative damage that chronic stress can inflict on an older body. Finally, we come to the fifth deadly mistake: lingering in bed or sitting around for too long without a purposeful plan. This might sound harmless, especially if you're retired or have no urgent responsibilities. Why not lounge? Haven't you earned it? The problem is that extended idleness soon after waking can cause a cascade of adverse effects on circulation, metabolism, and even mental engagement. Your body thrives on a rhythm of alternating rest and activity. By staying horizontal or sedentary for an extra hour or two, you not only risk stiffening joints, but you also delay the wake-up signals that prompt healthy hormonal release and appetite regulation. Over time, seniors who spend extended mornings lazing about are more prone to weight gain, muscle atrophy, and even sleep disruptions at night, because they've offset their natural sleep-wake cycle. It's not that you have to leap out of bed at dawn, but having a purposeful transition, maybe making your bed, opening the curtains to let in sunlight, and doing a quick task like watering your plants, can give a sense of direction and help your body fully shift into daytime mode. Those who continue to lounge often find themselves stuck in a hazy state, leading to an afternoon slump or restlessness at night. Also, prolonged inactivity in bed might worsen conditions like acid reflux or fluid retention in the lower extremities, making mornings more uncomfortable than they need to be. Setting a small goal each morning, whether it's reading a chapter in a book, organizing a corner of your living space, or calling a friend, can activate your mind and body in a gentle but intentional way, protecting you from the creeping dangers of extended morning inactivity. If you've made it this far and appreciate these insights, please leave a comment saying morning health so I know you're here. Also, feel free to share your own morning habits or concerns, because discussing them openly can help others recognize pitfalls they never noticed. Now, you might be asking, how can I fix these mistakes if I've been making them for years? The answer is to start small and be consistent. Don't try to overhaul your entire routine overnight. That can become overwhelming. Instead, pick one area you suspect is the biggest problem. Maybe you realize you never drink water until lunchtime, or perhaps you're guilty of doom scrolling first thing in the morning. Focus on improving that single aspect for a week or two. Once it becomes second nature, tackle the next issue. The beauty of incremental change is that it's less stressful, and each small win reinforces the others. Before you know it, you'll have a healthier, more energizing morning routine that supports your body's evolving needs rather than undermining them. One might wonder why these 5 mistakes, hydration neglect, skipping morning movement, poor breakfast choices, exposing yourself to negativity, and prolonged morning inactivity, are described as deadly. The reason is that the damage they cause is often slow and subtle, but over time, they can contribute to serious health complications. Chronic dehydration weakens kidneys and raises blood pressure. Skipping movement paves the way for muscle loss and falls. Poor dietary choices escalate risk for diabetes and cardiovascular disease. Psychological stress erodes mental and physical resilience, and prolonged inactivity fosters weight gain, metabolic syndrome, and worse sleep. Any one of these issues can chip away at quality of life and even cut it short, but combined, they form a comprehensive threat to senior well-being. This is how something as innocent as a morning routine can shape your entire day, month, and ultimately, the years you have ahead. Additionally, consider the social and emotional toll. If your morning is a rush of dehydration, stiffness, sugar highs, negative news, and inertia, it's hard to go into your interactions with a positive, grounded mindset. You might become irritable or impatient, damaging relationships with loved ones who genuinely want to connect with you. Over time, you could alienate the very people who can offer you companionship and help. By contrast, a mindful morning routine fosters a sense of calm confidence that positively affects your relationships, social activities, and overall outlook on aging. With a stronger emotional foundation, you're more likely to stay active, socially engaged, and open to new experiences, all of which have been linked to increased longevity and reduced rates of depression. It's worth noting that each person's specific morning routine may differ based on mobility issues, medications, or personal schedules. Some seniors may have early medical appointments or caregiver responsibilities. The key is to adapt the principles. If you must sit for a while, try gentle exercises you can do in a chair. If you need coffee immediately, make sure you follow it with water to offset dehydration. If you struggle with appetite in the morning, aim for a nutrient-dense smoothie or a small portion of protein rather than forcing down a big meal. If the news is unavoidable, consider balancing it with a few minutes of reading something uplifting or calling someone who brings you joy. The bottom line is to be intentional and self-aware. Don't let your morning unfold by accident. Shape it in a way that fosters health, happiness, and independence. Many seniors feel trapped by routines they've held for decades, believing it's too late to change. But research shows the human brain remains flexible. Older adults can absolutely form new habits. The trick is giving yourself permission to experiment and acknowledging that small steps matter. If you usually slump in an armchair for 30 minutes upon waking, try pacing around your living room for even 2 minutes before sitting. If you normally gulp down coffee with sugar, consider switching half the sugar to a natural sweetener, or gradually weaning off some sweetness. These micro changes, repeated daily, build momentum and can lead to profound improvements in how you feel. If you find it challenging to stay motivated, enlist a friend or family member for support. Maybe you can check in with each other about your morning routines or share progress on a group chat. Technology can help too. Use a simple timer on your phone to remind you to drink water or do a brief stretch. Keep track of how you feel when you follow your improved routine versus when you slip back into old habits. Often, the difference in energy, mood, and physical comfort is enough to reinforce better behaviors. For those dealing with chronic conditions, whether it's high blood pressure, arthritis, or diabetes, refining your morning routine can be a game changer. Something as simple as consistent hydration can stabilize blood pressure readings, while a nutrient-balanced breakfast can make your diabetes management smoother. Engaging your joints with gentle stretches can reduce arthritis flare-ups, and starting the day with calm positivity can mitigate stress symptoms in conditions like heart disease or chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. In fact, doctors and physical therapists often highlight the morning as a prime opportunity for supportive self-care. Once you see tangible benefits such as fewer aches, a lower reading on the scale, or improved lab results, it becomes easier to stick with the changes. You'll realize you're not just adding years to your life, but life to your years. Let's do a quick recap. The first deadly mistake is forgetting to hydrate, allowing mild dehydration to become a daily drain on your body. The second is skipping morning movement, leading to stiff joints, muscle imbalances, and an increased risk of injury. The third is reaching for sugary or empty-calorie foods or no breakfast at all, thereby messing with insulin, metabolism, and energy. The fourth is allowing negativity or stress to flood your mind upon waking, elevating cortisol and undermining your emotional resilience. And the fifth is lingering too long in bed or on the couch without structure, promoting circulatory stagnation, weight gain, and disrupted sleep-wake cycles. Each of these errors may seem minor on its own, but together, they form a potent combination that can whittle away your health in slow, invisible increments. If you've read this far, please leave a comment saying Morning Health Plus so I know you made it to the end. And of course, if you found any insights worth applying, share this video with someone else who might benefit. Perhaps a friend, family member, or neighbor who's also in their golden years and looking for ways to stay vibrant. By spreading the word, you help build a community of seniors who refuse to accept poor health as an inevitable part of aging. Instead, you can all encourage each other to refine daily habits and continue growing stronger in mind and body. As always, if you have doubts about any new activity or dietary change, consult a healthcare professional who understands your specific medical history. But don't wait for your next doctor's appointment to start implementing small, beneficial changes. Remember, it's your life. No one else can do the living for you. Mornings present an incredible opportunity to set the tone, psychologically and physically, for the hours ahead. By avoiding these 5 morning mistakes, you're not just dodging potential harm, you're actively investing in a longer, healthier future that remains under your control. Wishing you a great start to tomorrow and every day beyond.